All right, so the audio's recording, the video's recording. Mikey TakenFlight, T4J TV. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting back to your music or getting to your music, other than I've looked into some of your tracks and tracks that you've been featured on, but a lot, especially your current music, isn't really based in like the grittiness of the streets. You have My Wave. You have the other the other song that I think I saw you perform, which was Believe.
Yeah,
Things
the
like that.
sample
So
song. Yeah.
you definitely have some diversity to it, which what I wanted to get into earlier. We were supposed to have this interview before, and you was working on helping out. Which one of the things I wanted to say was like it's cool you're diverse in your life, which in your music the same way. One of the things I wanted to bring up is that you were a triple threat, which I don't even know if that's really proper. Like DJ, do you make music? I assume you're a rapper, you're a singer. So maybe what quadruple threat? Like so, tell me like how did all this come about? Like, where's your musical inspirations coming from?
Pow, there you go right there. My main inspiration is Dr. Dre.
Okay,
Believe it or not,
okay.
I looked up to Dr. Dre and Ice Cube,
Oh,
and
so actually NWA then.
yeah, and the more recent is Yo Gotti,
Okay.
because it's like I don't know, growing up, it's like I broke down certain ways of how Yo Gotti used to orchestrate business wise,
Mhm.
and then how going through Cube and Dr. Dre didn't know nothing about, what I'm saying, as far as the business side. So I watched whenever, of course, everybody saw Straight Outta Compton, and I pretty much watched how Dr. Dre. I grew up just watching Dr. Dre just do this, and I just fell in love with it. I remember when I went and bought my first board. I was working at Piggly Wiggly, and it was a small, tiny board. Didn't know anything about it. My mom used to look at me crazy, like, "What you got there for?" And I really just, I always used to keep them. Never really seen myself professionally DJing. That's the crazy thing about it. I feel like that's how God works. And as far as like the versatility of my music, it's just, a lot of people do a lot of things to compete.
Yeah.
It's like I compete, but I compete against myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't be scared. I just make music from the heart. It's all about feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because I also made country songs too, gospel songs.
Oh, that's
You
interesting.
know what I'm saying? And it's really, I make music off of feeling.
You gotta make sure I get some of those clips.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So those tracks.
Those are different genres. I mean, like, really different,
Yeah, and and
To be able to throw yourself into something so different.
So like, what do you spend your time, your days like listening to? I mean, to be able to make country music, do you listen to country music? Like,
Yeah, I actually like, because I'm the type, a lot of people might not know it. That's what the interview for. Like, I'm a country boy. I love horses and cows.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a country boy. See, it's like my uncle used to always. I remember when he first introduced me to horses, and it's like being around my uncle Pookie. He used to just be around and have that vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it was like we was just always used to be riding the truck. We listened to country music and stuff like that. So it was just, I don't know. It's just, it was something about the way the guitars was playing and stuff, and I really love music get to depth where it's just I hear more than words. I hear every instrument to be played.
Indeed.
It's like I really break down music like a fraction. Like it's feelings. You know what I'm saying?
And with those feelings, how have it like music help, or just creating, being on the creative process of music, how that like helped you personally, like in your own mental, you know, compartment. How has that?
I tell you, it gave me an outlet. It gave me an outlet for whenever I feel like times is at its worst, and nobody would listen to me. I always felt like my microphone would.
Okay, so getting into when you feel like no one's listening, like what would you say is like the genesis of that? Does it create like a frustration within you to where you're just like, hey, I got something to say, nobody's listening, or is it just everybody's preoccupied? Like, just getting into just the.
It be feelings on top of feelings. Sometimes, like, I feel like, especially with 2018, excuse me, it showed me a lot. It showed me a lot about friends, like, in the devilish antics that the devil will throw at you. You know what I'm saying? They have your mind all You know what I'm saying? And it's like, at the end of the day, it's just, I always felt like, anytime I ever get frustrated, or I really, instead of getting in trouble and going out there and releasing how I feel and just always saying it, I'd rather go put it behind the mic. And if I ever felt like, I used to go through suicide, you know, and if I ever felt like nobody would really open up and listen to me, I used to be like, okay, let me try to put it in behind the beat and to see if somebody actually listened to me then, instead of just wanting to sit back and be like, oh, okay. Because a lot of people do that, but it's like, you know how people, you feel like people hear you, but they're not listening. There's a difference, you know what I'm saying? And it's just...
And let's get into that a little bit, because I think sometimes people will, you know, think suicide is like, oh, dude, just, you know, buck up. Or, dude, you know, what you upset for? Or, dude, have a drink. Or, dude, you know, basically find a way to mentally medicate, self-medicate, rather than taking the fact that this person is on the edge seriously.
Yeah.
So, you know, what would you have to, like, what do you think is, I don't know, what helped kind of, like, have you ever been in that position, like you said? Have you been suicidal? I mean, I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, well, me personally, I have been through suicide. I've been through suicide more than the average person. Because, and back to, I'm going to remind me to come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
But back to how you were saying about the certain things that happen in my life, and it kind of made me start going through it. And I remember I had a friend where back then, whenever I was going through suicide, it was the first time I ever tried to open up to this person. And I was like, you know, I didn't know how to tell my mom. I didn't know how to really tell people that I was suicidal. I remember I started cutting myself. I have the scars now.
But I would imagine that at first it's a little hard for you to take it seriously to yourself that, oh, whoa, I'm suicidal. Like, who wakes up one day and realize that they're suicidal that day? I would imagine it's a gradual kind of reflection on your actions and on your thoughts, which also mentally traps you in the bubble as well. I mean, I don't know, maybe you can, you know, relay on that as well, but I guess getting into the feeling of, wow, this is where I'm at, which I think sometimes people don't realize that that's where they're at before it's too late. So just if you could just go into just when you realize, like, cutting equals suicidal equals cutting, you know, the things like that, like, what was in your, just take us into your head a little bit, you know, even if it's a little weird.
It is though. I mean, it's not weird. It's just, you know, it's just, I feel like talking about it, they helped me out a lot. That's why I started. But I feel like at first it was a thought.
Mm-hmm.
It went from a thought into going into, and I know I talked about this on my show the other day. Going into telling a friend about it. When you try to first acknowledge it, whenever you having these thoughts, and really try to go talk to somebody. And if you have a friend that, a lot of people that are suicidal, they want to tell 1,000 people, but they find one person to trust. And I feel like you got one time, you know how they say about like meet and greet, you got first impression is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this person, I'm gonna share my personal experience, but I went to this one person, and I went to tell them, you know what I'm saying, hey, I kind of been feeling weird, I'm not feeling like myself, and to the point where I really think I'm about killing myself. The person was like, man, you stupid as hell, man, why, man, go ahead, wait for me with that dumb shit. So honestly, it made me shut down to the point where I didn't want to tell anybody. So for a while, it hindered my life. You know what I'm saying? By holding in a lot of thoughts and not letting them go, not talking to nobody. So I went from holding it in to I went to lashing out, having blackouts, to the point where I would get mad and it's like I could see nothing and realize what I done afterwards.
But when your friend told you, when he said that basically the basic, hey, you stupid, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what most friends would say anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they probably don't believe it or they don't take it serious. Like, how does that make you feel? That moment right there, is it like, hey, you're not taking this seriously? You're not taking me seriously?
I feel like, in a way, that's possibly one of the worst things that a person that's suicidal will want to hear at that point in time, because you already feeling at your lowest, like nobody don't care. And this person basically directly to your face told you, hey, I don't care, you need to snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, nah, cause everybody have, it's about like Batman, everybody have their weakness, everybody have their strengths. Like I'm the type that, yeah, I can fight, I'm strong in that point, but when it comes to certain things like, you know, big small things, to me is big. Like the word love, I take that 4-letter word deeper than what it actually just put out there to be. You know, and it's like certain things like that right there affect my mind differently, and certain with other people they might not care about it because it's not a big topic to them. It's just okay. I say I love you, you know what that means. And in a sense, I take whenever I say I love you, that means if you call me, I'm there. Don't matter if I'm hurting, I'm sick, I'm obligated. It's an obligation. I got you, and I expect it to be the same. But it's like growing up, whenever you give all of that love out, and you really feel like you're not getting it, it make you question yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like the suicidal thoughts come from, because it's you having a battle within yourself. Like, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? And this whenever you once I realize maybe it's not you, maybe it's them.
So, do you have a